Who said that we didn't have access to Amulet of Vigor? Because I say we have access to Amulet of Vigor. Or more so, Urza says we have access to Amulet of Vigor. Alright guys, we are here for match 3 with the list that you see on screen right in front of you. We are playing Urza Saga and Yavimaya and the Foundation Breaker tech in the sideboard. We got some new Modern Horizons stuff going on, and if you are not familiar by some ridiculous stretch of the imagination that you don't know what these cards are and where they came from, then check out match 1 where I cover in detail everything you need to know about these cards. In my personal opinion, I think that Urza Saga is going to be an Amulet staple moving into the future, and I think you should be playing no less than 4 copies. But we'll see if that rings true in this upcoming match. We are currently 2-0 so far, so doing pretty well, I would say, and hopefully we can keep up the steam. I'll see you guys in match 3 here. By the way, in round 1, we played against the Control Master himself, TSP Yendrick. If you're not familiar with him, look him up, follow him on Twitter. He does stream, and we managed to play against him in round 1. It was a very entertaining match. If you haven't seen it, then go check that out as well. That's yet another reason to watch round 1, as not only do I give you the details of the deck, but you can also see me fight against an actual Magic the Gathering master. Of course, I'm not going to say 2 masters fighting because I don't consider myself to be a Magic the Gathering master, and neither should you. I'm just some guy who likes to play Amulet and learn. But regardless, check it out. It's cool. You'll enjoy it. There's a little bit of everything in there. A little bit of punting, a little bit of good plays, a little bit of winning. It's a good match. You should go check it out. And we have a turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Azusa hand. This is like more of like a typical, quote-unquote, Amulet hand, although it's not containing Amulet itself. And we still need to top deck a Titan, but, I mean, in typical Amulet fashion, I feel like this is a keep. It'll be especially good if our opponent leads on a Swift Spear. Them leading on Misty Rainforest, I don't know what to make of that. I don't even know what decks play Misty Rainforest at this point. Could be like a Bug, Shardless Agent, Crashing Footfalls. Oh me, oh my. We're probably going to lose. Okay, well, let's get this Grazer into play. For those of you who are not aware of what's going on, this is going to be some sort of Electro Dominance type deck. Could it be... since it's Crashing Footfalls, it's probably Electro Balance. At least I'm going to play around that by going ahead and putting this bounce land in play and trying to keep our land count low, so we don't have to sacrifice a bunch of lands. This Crashing Footfalls, the fact that they suspended it instead of put it into play with a Electro Balance is actually pretty promising, but Electro Dominance. I always say Electro Balance. The card is called Electro Dominance. Electro Balance is the name of the combo. Anyways. Yeah, this is definitely not the best of matchups for us. I mean, we don't have any choice but to just play out our cards and hope that it works. Yeah, so let's play, I guess, just Forest and Garenbrig. We have Titan mana. Go. Swing with Grazer for absolute value. Our opponent's just going to put a Restore Balance onto the stack, and we'll have to go down to 2 of these lands, probably these 2 lands, sacrifice all of our creatures, and be miles away from doing what we want to do. Bone Crusher Giant to kill Azusa, that's actually probably good for us. This could be more of like a rug, like, Shardless Agent kind of deck. There we go, Shardless Agent. So if it's not Electro Balance, then I actually feel pretty good about our spot. We see... Oh no, they all disappeared. I want to see these cards. We see Force of Negation, Cryptic Command, Valakut Awakening, Violent Outburst, Crashing Footfalls. Okay, would have been nice to find a Primeval Titan, but I guess our opponent's just doing the control thing and trying to combo out a bunch of Rhinos. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, we don't really have much to do here, so I guess we're just playing the Gruul Turf and picking up a Forest and passing it back. This way we have colors of mana that are relevant in play. They have 1 counter left on this Footfalls. Well, I mean, Engineered Explosives will be pretty good against this post-board. I don't know if one single Primeval Titan is going to be good enough at this point, even if we were to draw it and it were to resolve. So, Gemstone Caverns. Wow, that's going deep. That one is going real deep. Alright, let's block this Shardless Agent. And Violent Outburst. So we're taking 10, and they're getting another Footfalls, most likely. Yep. We don't see anything terribly different. What is this one? Dead and Gone. Okay. And we have literally nothing, so let's go to the next one. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I wonder, does Grafdigger's Cage interact at all with not suspend cards, but like Cascade? Let me go look up this ruling real quick. So, according to this old forum on MTG Salvation, there's no interaction between Cascade and something like Grafdigger's Cage because Cascade says you cast it from exile, right? Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less, and you may cast it without paying its mana cost, but the exiled cards on the bottom. So it does cast it from exile, again, not from the library, which is, I don't know, that kind of annoys me, because I feel like Grafdigger's Cage should stop stuff like that, but apparently it doesn't. Alright, we want explosives, clearly. I'm kind of interested in Tracker, but I can't really say why. I mean, it probably is just going to die to a Stomp or Bolt from our opponent. I guess they can't be playing Bolt, but it could die to a Stomp. And it doesn't match up well against tokens, although I guess if you'd have to crack 3 clues for this to profitably block a Rhino, I don't know, it's probably not good enough, sadly. We could Beast Within their lands to try to keep him off of the thing, but doesn't seem that great. Bog doesn't seem relevant. Ghost Quarter seems irrelevant. I guess that's all. Just the 2 explosives, really? Okay, this is not going to be a good matchup, I can already tell. Cavern of Souls seems like it might be relevant. I mean, I guess they could have those evoke creatures, like Subtlety or whatever. And Cavern of Souls doesn't even play around that anyway, so we'll cut the Cavern. Because they're not going to bring in things like Aether Gust, because it doesn't work with their plan. I guess we could trim, like, an Explorer, perhaps? Explorer helps us find our explosives, though. I think Explorer is better than Grazer, probably. We'll run it this way. Grazer doesn't really profitably block anyways. Beyond the play, of course. We have a turn 1 Saga hand. No bounce land to go with. Interesting. I guess we can get Expedition Map and crack it to find a bounce land, and that'll be especially good if we draw an Amulet. Otherwise, we only have 2 lands. So, like, this hand's kind of like meh, but a bounce land unlocks it easily. I think maybe we're supposed to keep this, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to give it a shot just for science. We could also play the Saga on turn 2 so that we can get a Dryad into play before we search for the Amulet, and potentially even get some creatures out of the Saga. I don't hate that. I don't love it either, because if we do happen to top deck a bounce land, then we can search for an Amulet and maybe start doing the things. Like, if we have Garenbrig in play at the beginning of the turn with an Amulet, we play... Nah, I guess we'd be 1 short. We could pack for a Grazer out a Dryad, land, activate Garenbrig Titan on turn 3. That's only if we literally draw the bounce land. Otherwise, we don't really have much of a plan. As much as I hate it, I really think this is another one of those situations where we should lead on a different land than Urza Saga and plan to do the Saga thing on turn 4. Admittedly, that might be kind of slow against what our opponent's doing, though, so... I don't know. This hand just, it's a catch-22, because I guess with a hand like this, the idea is just to hit the bounce land, and if you don't hit the bounce land, then you're not really going to be doing a whole lot. But if you do hit the bounce land, it'll be good. And also, like I said, we could also top deck an Amulet, in which case we can Saga for a Expedition Map instead. That would still leave us doing the thing on turn 4 anyways, though, if that were the case. We have 9 bounce lands to hit. No, I think it's 10. I think we're playing the 4th Sanctuary. We have 4 Sanctuaries, 4 Growth Chambers, a Gruul Turf, and a Garrison. And even the Garrison works here, I think. At least for playing out the Dryad. Probably not for playing out Titan, but... So we have 9 bounce lands that actually work, like, as far as casting Titan on turn 3 if we get there. And 1 Boros Garrison as well that lets us at least start doing things. It's not really that many, but we have 2 or 3 draws for it, so... Alright, I'm gonna have faith. We'll play the Saga on 1. Giving up several tokens worth of value. Giving up the ability to guaranteedly cast Dryad on turn 3. Could be wrong. It doesn't feel like it's right, but then again, we might just be very dead very soon anyways, so... Alright, Bounce Land or Amulet off the top. Those are the cards we really want to see. Bounce Land or Amulet. Come on. Grazer, okay. It's not really it. I guess we can Grazer out the Garenbrig and float the mana in our main phase! We can do the thing that we learned last round and be able to still play Dryad here, so that was actually a fantastic top deck. Cool. This is what knowledge gains you, is it affords you the ability to do unique things like floating the Saga, knowing that we'll be able to use the mana in our main phase to cast Dryad. It's not something that I realized before. What is this? What is this? 2 mana, instant speed, during our upkeep? I don't like it. Growth Spiral? That doesn't make sense. What, are they going to Growth Spiral in a Ghost Quarter and kill the Saga? Ice. No! Tap target permanent, draw a card. Well, considering we're potentially not doing anything else this turn, we might as well make the token, right? Or we could just, like, hope that we top deck any land, since we're gonna get an Amulet in play and be able to play Dryad. I think that might be better than just getting a random token, so let's just let this go, I guess. Yeah. I hate it, but... Hey, the bounce land. Cool, cool. So we actually have Titan this turn, right? If we still have another Grazer in deck. Which we do. So, yeah, we should be good to go here. Let's float the mana before we let it go. Actually, I don't think we need to pack for Grazer, right? Because of the mana we have floating. Nice. Okay. Wait, no, I think we still do, right? We could pack for Azusa. No. We play 3. We only have 1 land drop. No, we actually can't Titan here. Well, at least we get to play the Dryad, right? Because they tapped the Garen Rig. I think that was the way that we were getting up to enough mana to cast Titan. Let's see, we play this, pick it back up, leave 3 floating, pack for a Grazer, play it, put in the Growth Chamber, pick up the Garen Rig, but we can't play it. Yeah, so we're just a little short here. Okay, well, that's the best that we got. Man, that particular casting of the card Fire and Ice, which is also a new to modern printing, courtesy of Mono Horizons 2, that was very strong, and they definitely hit the right target for sure. Interesting. And we know that they still have Footfalls in their deck, as we see it on Suspend here, so I don't think that we have to worry about them, like, having some sort of, like, balance effect at instant speed here from a Violent Outburst or whatever. I don't know what kind of 3 mana counter magic they might have. They could have something like Archmage's Charm, and that wouldn't be unreasonable, but... Let's see, we play this twice, that's 4... I mean, yeah, if we're playing a Titan, it's just going to be exposed to counter magic, and there's really not much we can do about it. If we pack for Azusa and play that, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, that'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is 1 short of double Titaning. Let's see, we could possibly Transmute, though. So we pack for Azusa, play it. We have 3 land drops remaining, that's 6. No, but we wouldn't be able to Transmute for a Cavern and also play it, so... Yeah, we're just slamming a Titan. Slamming it. Into play. We could also just immediately Transmute for Engineered Explosives and play it and be like, okay, do all the crashing of Footfalls that you want to. See what our opponent has here at instant speed. I mean, at this point, even if they answered the Dryad, we wouldn't care because we could just pack for Grazer or pack for Azusa and have Titan mana ready to go, so it's fine. Gotta pick up this Growth Chamber. There we go. Our opponent has something. They're thinking very heavily about when they're gonna cast whatever something it is that they have. I mean, I could go and look up this deck. I don't know if this is a deck that would have some sort of deck list on Magic on MTG Goldfish yet, to be honest. Not like the Velomachus deck from last round. I feel like this is going to be more of a recent one and wouldn't be in the 5-0s just yet. Can't think of a whole lot of 3-mana interaction that our opponent could play here, other than, like, Archmage's Charm. Prismari Command they probably would have used to kill our Amulet way before, so... Our opponent's still stopped together, so I really don't know what's going on. Guess they could have Brazen Borrower. That's something to think about. Alright. I think we still want Bounce Land in hand, however. So, we'll play our Titan. Yeah, I think I'm just slamming it. Not gonna try to play around extra, like, taxing effects or whatever. Alright, cool. It resolves. So we'll search for Valcut and Slayer's Stronghold, since we can float a white with our forest. Nice. Yeah, I don't think we have a choice but to go for the haste here. It's not like we can transmute for an explosives and then still hold it up for the activation, so might as well force them to have the bounce effect. Tap draw. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. No more land drops remaining. You'll do this turn. We do have this Telarios just waiting to getcha our opponent. If their plan here is to gum up the board with a bunch of tokens, it's not really going to work for them. They have a second Footfalls on suspend. Very interesting. Right, so I think the move here is just going straight to combat first things first. They let us attack. Okay. Okay. I see what you're doing here. I mean, we want second Valcut and maybe fetch land. We'd have 12 damage on the stack. And if they tried to respond, we could fetch for another land. I guess they could respond to the Amulet untap, so we wouldn't get to fetch with our Dryad still in play. So maybe that doesn't really make a huge difference. We could get a bounce land here. Don't think that does a whole lot for us. Yeah, I guess just Vesuva copying Valcut makes sense. It's not going to be possible for us to transmute this Telari. Actually, no, if we get a blue land, then we can transmute Telari West even if they kill our Dryad. So I think maybe getting a blue land is going to be better here. We'll just get another Telari West, I guess. And this is already presenting lethal since we have damage coming through on the board too, so. And if this doesn't go through, we can play the Growth Chamber, float the 2 blue, and transmute Telari West for something. It could be Pact of Negation. It could be Engineered Explosives. They are gawning the Dryad, returning it to our hand. Well, we might still have lethal despite that. They go to 9. We have 2 land drops. That's 4 Valcut triggers. So yeah, they're actually still just dead. So let's do the thing where they die. Yavimaya because we love it. And Simic Growth Chamber because that's the best bounce land in the deck. Okay, well, we took it down. Very cool deck from our opponent. I love to see some innovation. And I guess we do want Pact of Negation here, which I don't know why it's not already in our deck. We could trim a Summoner's Pact maybe, but I don't really see the need for that. We can trim an Explorer, I think. Is Explore better than Turn Timber? I think having the untapped source is probably more relevant. We'll run it back. Like I was saying, I do appreciate our opponent's innovation. And yeah, this is just like the typical Amulet hand. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Dryad, turn 3 Titan. No big deal. No big deal at all. No big deal whatsoever. And I'll do it off the Radiant Fountain, because gaining life is always good, right? Amulet go. Hopefully they don't have something to interact with our... Oh, they force! No! We needed that Amulet. Opponent, what are you doing? Saga. Yeah, we'll play that one. You know what I just realized? I've always been worried about not being able to cast 3-drops on turn 3 because Saga dies, but we actually can cast 3-drops on turn 3, even if we play a Saga on 1. Wow. Well, that's just the hugest punt on my part in the whole entire universe. I've been playing it as if we couldn't, and several matches off camera, but, you know, whatever. We'll play, I guess, just Valakut here. We're about to get a Amulet into play. Float 4 mana, Sanctuary, yeah, so Valakut seems the most relevant, and we'll pass it back. Who said that we didn't have access to Amulet of Vigor? Because I say we have access to Amulet of Vigor. Or more so, Urza says we have access to Amulet of Vigor. Let's float the mana here before something disastrous happens, and we'll go ahead and sacrifice this and search. No reason to float with the rest of them, just in case. All precautions taken. They could have the tap thing again, but that doesn't really bother me much. Yeah, we can always deal to this Amulet trigger here. Oh, float, 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 float. Right, we'll pick up the bounce land and play it again. Actually, we have exactly 6 floating. The reason why we would play another land drop here, despite the fact that we're not getting triggers off of this specific land drop, is so that we can leave a white floating and search for second Valakut and Slayer Stronghold. So if they have something to tap the Titan, we're still getting potentially Valakut damage through. So, let's see. We don't have to pay for a pack, so I guess we want bounce land in hand. So that's fine. I guess we'll play the Saga here for that purpose. Sure. We don't want to always deal to the Saga triggers, but... Alright, so we'll cast the Titan. See the response. And our opponent concedes. We are 3-0 with Urza Saga, and it is way better than I ever anticipated it would be. And hopefully you can see that in action. So I've already ordered my copies in paper. I pre-ordered them on TCG Player, so I'm very happy about that decision because that card is going up in price. I guarantee you. It's a 4-of staple hit in Amulet, in my opinion. So I should leave some of that for the end of the league, though, where I will talk about my thoughts on the deck list and potential changes. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next match. This is Redface Menace, signing off.